We just finished a wonderful presentation by the SWA Group on the downtown Riverfront plan. And rather than getting into specifics that are on the plan, we've got Kinder Baumgardner here, president of SWA, and I want to talk a little bit at a higher level about the benefits that a downtown riverfront plan can mean not only for the community in Fort Wayne but for the region as a whole, and understanding the issues related to our water resources. So Kinder, if you would, let's talk a little bit about the ripple effect that you mentioned earlier, that as people gain an awareness about our rivers and the riverfront, what can that do for the region?
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting moment because we've sort of honed in on a phase one project, right? This is a thing that we should go out and do. And you know, as these things go, they have ripple effects. When people come down to the river and they start to use the river, like they're doing already, they start to demand other things, right? And so sometimes those things are just certain facilities. Where can I put a boat? How can I get up and down the river? How can I see the river? How can I use it on a bike? But then that starts to add to maybe result in the things that are happening now. Maybe I'd like to have dinner on the river. Maybe I'd like to take friends and family down there and we can show them, you know, what a great river Fort Wayne has, right? So that's that little tipping point. And I think that what happens next, people start spending a lot of quality time on the river. They're going to demand that certain changes happen upstream along the rivers. And this is a huge opportunity to figure out how those things that up there are impacting things that are happening downstream. And there's sometimes little tweaks that can happen, say in the way a farmer manages his fields along the edges of a river. Small things that can have huge effects. And there's other things in more urbanized areas that Fort Wayne's already doing, for example, trying to clean up some of the stormwater and wastewater issues. But all these things add up to big holistic changes for whole river systems. And we're seeing that all over the country.
So in one of the drawings you had a cutaway of a street view that showed the area being more of a sponge and less piping. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there's, low impact design or low impact development techniques that we use. So some things are just thinking differently about how we've always dealt with stormwater. Historically, the idea of stormwater was let's get it in a pipe as fast as we can, into the river as fast as we can, and down the river, right? The quicker it goes in, the faster the river rises, the quicker it floods, right? Now what we think about is, hey, let's hold that water back. Let's run it through biosystems. So there's these big ecological sponges that sort of start to suck up some of that water and hold it. And then the water that is released, when it actually makes it to the river, it's much cleaner. So those are some of the techniques that we would definitely be using here. And I think, again, that will inform other communities upstream, other developments that are happening, suburban places as well as urban places.
Thank you, appreciate that. So it's more than just the fancy things to do downtown, but it will also give us an opportunity to improve the health of our watershed as a whole.
I think that's the most important piece of this, that we're going to bring people downtown, they're going to have a great time at the rivers, they're going to learn about the rivers, they're going to understand the water quality issues here so much better, and that's going to create systemic change, I'm sure.
Kinder, so the presentation tonight, it was a cold, snowy night, slick roads, and you were presenting to a standing room crowd only.
Absolutely, and that's a huge, huge deal. This community has spunk. People are coming out because they're interested in this project, they're interested in the rivers, they want new and unique opportunities along the rivers in Fort Wayne, and that to me is a huge marker of success. When you have this many people coming out and demanding that things happen, they happen. And so it was so great to see that. I mean, a lot of hard work has gone into these plans. They're not going to sit on a shelf somewhere. I'm sure they're going to get implemented.
That makes me feel good, being a part of this community, to know that we had a good showing and that we've got some good momentum behind this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to be there all the way through it. So
excellent. Thank you for your work with SWA and an opportunity to bring this to light to our citizens.
Thanks for having us down.
You're welcome.